What's going on, everyone? I appreciate y'all coming here and checking out this video. In this one, I'm going to be sharing some really positive news that came out within the Inside of the Vault article today. I don't know if you guys have read it or not, but yeah, this information was a surprise to me and I'm excited to share it with y'all. Like, this is some amazing stuff that's about to be added in the future. Of course, it's going to be coming to the public test server first. Apparently, it's going to be arriving next Friday on February 5th. So we'll be able to see these changes, at least in the public test server, really soon. I'm not exactly sure when they plan on releasing this stuff for all players. I'm assuming whenever they fine-tune the things that, they're sharing within the public test server. They want to make sure it comes out polished, so I'm sure they'll be listening to our feedback over these new features. Well, let's just get into this. This is some awesome news for Fallout 76. So first off, this has been a talk for a very long time, and it's officially, as you can see, coming. We're going to be getting loadouts, special loadouts. So as you can see, here's what they had to say about it. One of the most common requests we've seen from the community is for a way to completely reset a character's special attributes, so that it's quicker and easier to overhaul your build. We hear you, and starting at level 25, your characters will gain access to special loadouts, which offer the brand new ability to reboot all of your special points for free whenever you're in your camp. This will allow you to create and save custom special point allocations and perk card assignments, and then switch between them. So how cool is that? We're going to be able to get our own loadouts, and it's interesting that we'll be able to reboot all of our special points for free. That's pretty interesting. The only thing I'm kind of curious about this is, do our levels still matter? I'm assuming they do. Here's another image they shared after they said that. And then they had this also to say about it. To swap your loadouts, edit your perk cards, or special points, simply visit a punch card machine. You'll be able to build a punch card machine in your camp and find them at train stations around Appalachia so that you can make changes when you're on the go. Initially, players will gain access to 2 special loadouts per character, and we are exploring additional ways to unlock more loadouts in the future, such as through the Atomic Shop. So we'll get originally 2 loadouts, and it seems like we'll be able to get more loadouts from purchasing them. I guess we'll see how that plays out. Anyways, carrying on here. Next up, they had something called camp slots to share. Now this is pretty interesting. As you can see, here's the image they had to share with us within the Inside of the Vault. And Bethesda had this to say about it. It can be tough to decide between building a brand new home or sticking with your current camp creation, because you can only have one at a time. Going forward, you won't have to choose whether to open a wasteland B&B, fortify a Free States outpost, or run your own Red Rocket station. Instead, camp slots will help you do it all. Your characters will be able to build multiple different camps, each with its own location, build budget, custom name, and even a unique map icon. While you will only be able to have one active camp at a time, you can easily switch among them using a new camp builds widget or your camp icons on the map. Okay, that is awesome. That is a really good idea, because there's been instances where I was like, I don't really know if I want to actually move my camp to this spot, just because I'm not exactly sure how things are going to plan out according to what I have in my head. And sometimes things don't really plan out how I'm wanting, and then I'm like wishing I could, use my other camp that I just got rid of. That's cool that they're doing that. That just makes it so we'll be able to have more camps on our characters. Anyways, Bethesda also said this about the camp slots feature coming. As you can see, further managing the items you want to sell has never been easier, because your vending machines will now feature a large pool of item slots that are shared for every instance, across all your camps. Display cases will be a separate per camp, allowing you to showcase different items at each one. Along with these changes, we are also working to enable displays in shelters so that you have even more opportunities to show off your loot. Alright, that's a step in the right direction for the shelters. Awesome. Maybe eventually we can get allies in our camp or something. I don't know. It's cool to see them expanding on the shelters more. Anyways, they also said we are still implementing some of this vending and display functionality, so these changes may arrive after the PTS has already begun. Okay, so that's interesting though. Anyways, carrying on here, they also go over the first expansion apparently coming to Daily Ops. This is really cool. As you can see, they said, our first expansion for Daily Ops brings a major update to the feature that nearly doubles the amount of randomized content that's currently available. To begin, you'll be able to dive into the all-new Decryption game mode, in which you and your teammates will hunt down enemy code carriers in order to disable radio interceptors for Vernon dodge. Enemies in Decryption have extra deadly attacks that will bypass your armor resistances, so you may want to employ stealthier tactics to take them down rather than a brute force approach. That sounds awesome. Anyways, in addition to Decryption mode, you'll brave a variety of new daily ops locations, including Vault 96 and the Watoga Raider Arena. Oh, nice. You'll battle new enemies such as the Scorched and Mothman Cultist, and even face down new mutations, like enemy groups that can heal each other, enemies that create toxic hazards on death, and more. We'll add the new mode, locations, enemies, and mutations to the existing randomized pool so that you always have a fresh challenge to conquer. Of course, there will also be new rewards for your efforts, like new weapon plans and loot, so be sure to keep some room in your inventory. That sounds awesome. That was actually my first time reading that and learning that information, and that's incredible that they're doing it. Actually, all this other stuff that I'm going over is going to be my first time reading and getting into the information. Anyways, next up, it seems like they're going to be improving the aim assist here. As you can see, they're going to be adding a new aim assist setting to help players who use controllers more easily snap their crosshairs to enemies and stay on target when aiming down the sights with ranged weapons. Honestly, I never really had any difficulty with that, but hey, this is cool, I guess. It states here, we introduced aim assist in a previous PTS, but we made some tweaks since then, and would love to hear what you think. Anyways, carrying on here, Bethesda also goes over batch crafting. They said if you've ever needed to grill up a bunch of rad stag meat, you know it can take some time and lots of button presses to get through your stockpile. In our next update, we are adding crafting sliders to all workbench menus so that you can assemble, forge, cook, or manufacture an entire stack of an item all at once. All you will need to do is move the slider to the number that you want to craft before you hit confirm. Oh, that's going to be handy. Awesome of them to be adding these quality of life updates into the game. Like this, for one example. This is going to help players save so much time. It's good to see them adding stuff like that in. Anyways, up next here, they go over the World Activity menu updates. It states here we're expanding on the World Activity menu to include much more than daily ops. Going forward, you will find it includes active nuke zones, nearby player vending machines, and events, giving you an easy way to find and fast travel to these activities. Well, that's a smart idea to keep players engaged with one another in the server. Once again, another quality of life update that's just overall good for play experience. Good to see them adding those in. Anyways, next up here, they go over melee attack improvements. They said we've read some feedback from the Fallout 76 community that melee attacks could use a tune-up. We agree, and we've made some tweaks and squashed a few bugs. Going forward, your hacks, slashes, smashes, and chops should feel a little more fluid and hit more reliably. I remember back in the day when pretty much everyone used melee because of the bloodied meat hook. How much damage that thing could do against the Scorched Beast Queen. Oh my gosh, it was insane when you combined it with Nuka Shine. But yeah, they ended up nerfing all that, and it's good to see that they're, looking back at melee and trying to balance it out where players feel like using it again more. I remember also another big thing was shotties too, back in the day in Fallout 76. It's just weird to say back in the day because it really hasn't been that long. I mean, it kind of has actually. The game's been out for over 2 years now. But anyways, they also had a reminder in this Inside the Vault article about the script surplus that's coming this weekend. As you can see, they said, calling all legendary hunters, a little later today, we are kicking off our first script surplus weekend, which doubles the total amount of legendary script that's available from Legendary Exchange Machine per day. Gather up all your unwanted legendary items and be sure to exchange them for up to 300 legendary script each day until the script surplus concludes on February 1st. So it's not going to be lasting that long. I may jump on board with this to boost my script a bit more. Anyways, lastly, at the end of this, they wanted to say, we hope you've enjoyed this overview of what's next for Fallout 76. If you own a PC copy of the game through Bethesda.net, we would love to have you join us in the PTS next week to try out everything mentioned above, post feedback, and report bugs. Stay tuned for additional PTS details in our next Inside of the Vault. So it's good to see them getting serious about this update by having a PTS over it, just to make sure everything is working accordingly before they put this stuff into the game. But yeah, I'm out of here, everybody. Thanks for taking the time watching and listening. Remember, try to stay safe out there during these unusual times. And hey, if you got the time, maybe take a little bit of your time and leave a like on this video. That'd be greatly appreciated. Until next time, though, everyone, peace.